Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, I am going to be talking about my GYMSHARK66 experience and also give you guys some tips and tricks on how to make the most out of these 66 days and also how to win GYMSHARK66. So for those of you who don't know what GYMSHARK66 is, it is basically a competition that Gymshark started back in 2018. It lasts from January 1st till the beginning of March, and basically the only thing that Gymshark asks is that you have a goal for yourself and you do that thing every single day for 66 days. So let's say you want to start working out more, or maybe it's you want to start making a home cooked meal at least once a day. You do that for 66 days. And the only rules that Gymshark has is that you post by January 1st and then you post on that 66th day, and you kind of use that as a way to reflect on your journey and just talk about your experience. But there's nothing else you have to do. Although what typically happens is a lot of people tend to post every single day, whether it's on their stories or on their actual feed, just documenting their journey along the way. I recommend doing this just because it does get Gymshark to notice you. It also keeps yourself accountable because you are posting every single day, or you're at least like talking about it every single day. And it's just a great way to start a community, meet some other people who are doing the challenge. Like I said before, it's a great way to hold yourself accountable as well to whatever goal you have for those 66 days. So the winner of GYMSHARK66 back in 2018 won a year's worth of Gymshark clothing. So when I won in 2018, every single month, at least 1 to 2 times a month, I would receive a package from Gymshark of their newest releases. And GYMSHARK66 definitely kickstarted my journey on Instagram. For those of you who don't know, I have an Instagram that's focused on mental health, physical health, and just kind of like overall health and wellness. I always have it linked down below. It's at mythrivingOn. And I've had so many amazing opportunities. I've been able to work with Gymshark in the past, just this past year. And GYMSHARK66 for me was just really that Kickstarter to all of those opportunities that I've been given along the way of my fitness Instagram page. So this is just such a popular challenge. More and more people take part in it every single year. I also want to add that Gymshark did not ask me to make this video. I wanted to make this video because I really just want to help you guys along your journey for these 66 days. But yeah, I just wanted to talk about my top 5 tips for how I completed the 66 days and how I eventually won. So with that being said, let's get into the tips. So my first tip is definitely the most cliche tip, and that is to be yourself. I know that this is obviously a no-brainer. Everyone knows to be authentic, be true to them, but sometimes what tends to happen through these experiences and through these challenges is you see other people, you see their success, whether that's Gymshark noticing them or Gymshark posting them on their story or Gymshark commenting, and you start to question yourself and you start to doubt how you're doing this challenge. Am I posting enough? Am I, should I be wearing more Gymshark, or should I be talking about different things? And my advice to all of you is to let that go completely. Comparison is a killjoy. You just need to be authentic, to be yourself, because that is what Gymshark is looking for, especially when it comes to picking the winners of this challenge. It has nothing to do with how you look. I think a lot of people get confused and think, oh, I should get the leanest during these 66 days, or I should have the biggest transformation physically, and that's not the case. They just want to see someone who's committed to becoming the best version of themselves, and that can be in so many different forms. For me, when I did GYMSHARK66, I really focused on my mental health and my self-love journey. I have struggled in the past with loving myself and having huge insecurities when it comes to my body, and so when I heard of this challenge, I really wanted to focus on taking care of my mental health every single day, and so that's what I documented about. Yes, I posted some stuff about fitness. Yes, I talked about fitness here and there, but it wasn't my main focus for these 66 days. And Gymshark recognized my commitment towards myself, and that's how it led to me winning. So when it comes to posting, when it comes to what your goals are, do not get blinded by everyone else's goals or what everyone else is doing. It's not about them. It's your journey. It's about you and being committed to yourself. So my second tip is to remember that if Gymshark doesn't notice you during these 66 days, say that's liking or commenting, it doesn't mean that they don't see you. I know that can sound confusing. Some people would get posted on Gymshark's story like all the time, every single week, and it wasn't happening to me. So I took that as a sign as Gymshark doesn't even know I'm doing this. I'm taking part of this challenge. They're not liking, they're not commenting, they're not, you know, posting me, they're not sending me a DM, responding to my story if I tag them. But just because they don't do that, or maybe they only do it once, it doesn't mean that they don't see you. I don't think I was recognized by Gymshark until March, near the end of the challenge. They posted me on their Instagram, and that was the first week of March, which was the end of the challenge. And then when I was announced the winner, that was the second time they had ever posted me. So if Gymshark is not liking, if they're not commenting, if they're not responding or anything, don't take that as, oh my goodness, they don't know I'm doing this, I'm never gonna win, this is never gonna happen, I'm failing, whatever. That's not the case. Even when you don't think they're noticing, they are noticing. So take a deep breath, don't take it too seriously. Gymshark sees you, I promise. My third tip, which is kind of comparable to my first tip, is to remember to do it for you. Yes, there is a huge prize at the end, and most of the time when people are doing this challenge, it's because they want that prize. But if you don't win, don't take that as a failure. You know, you're doing this for you. You're doing this to become the best version of yourself. I know that Gymshark asks you to write down your goals for those 66 days at the beginning of the year, and you post it on your page or you post it on your story. What I recommend is hanging that up somewhere where you'll see it every single day, because that is what matters. That is why you're doing this challenge in the first place. Yes, it's great to win this, that, and the other, but at the end of the day, you're committed to yourself, you're committed to your well-being, and you're committed to becoming the best version of yourself this year. And that looks different for everyone, but I think it's just important to not focus too much on the winning and the prizes and all of that, because yeah, that's great. But at the end of the day, you want to make sure that you feel whole, you feel complete simply being you. My fourth tip is to remind yourself that it doesn't have to be purely fitness. This isn't who can have the best physical transformation challenge. That's not the reason of these 66 days. I remember when I won, Gymshark posted me on their page, and it was a huge deal, and I was so excited, and my dad had called me and he said, you know, don't pay attention to the comments. It's not about them. You know, this is your day. You should be excited, whatever. And I was on such a high that I didn't even realize that people would have anything bad to say about me winning. The comments were definitely filled with positive comments, people congratulating me, Gymshark athletes congratulating me, people who work at Gymshark HQ congratulating me. But there were also plenty of comments that were saying if I knew that I could stay the same weight and win, that I would have done that. Or I thought this was Gymshark, not Gym Whale. And people just really attacking my figure as if that was the reason behind GYMSHARK66, when that was never the case. I didn't take those comments to heart. I didn't really care. That day was one of the most memorable days of my life. And I was just on such a high, as I said before, that it really didn't matter to me what other people thought. Clearly they were hurting, clearly they felt some type of way. For me, it was just such a beautiful day that didn't matter. And I want to remind you that this isn't, you know, get super shredded or get super bulked. Like, this is just you living, and this is just you being dedicated to yourself for at least these 66 days, but hopefully that turns into a lifetime affair. So just know that it's not this super physical challenge. That's not the reason that Gymshark started it, and it's never been advertised as such. I think people just see, oh, Gymshark is a fitness page, they're a fitness clothing company, so of course I should have a fitness goal, but it doesn't have to be that way. And my final tip is to have fun. This is probably more cliche as well, just like my first tip, but I think people just take challenges and take whatever it may be like super seriously, and it's very easy to become your biggest critic, especially when it comes to the possibility of winning something. As I've said numerous times, this is just a time to be dedicated to yourself and your health and your happiness. So don't be hard on yourself. If you don't have the transformation that you wanted to have physically, don't look at it as a failure. The health journey is such a personal one, and at the end of the day, you just want to make sure that you're happy. I think that's what we're all looking for. Some of us feel like we need to lose the weight to be happy. Some of us feel like we need to gain the weight to be happy, but it can be a number of things that you can do to bring happiness to your life. I don't want to go too deep into that topic. I don't know why I'm like bringing that up, but I just want to remind you guys that like GYMSHARK66 is not a reason to be hard on yourselves or a reason to judge yourself. GYMSHARK66 is a reason to love yourself and to be dedicated to yourself and dedicated to your body and your health and your happiness and just becoming, as I've said a million times in this video, the best version of you. And that looks completely different to everyone. So do not, tear each other down. Do not tear yourself down. This is a time to lift each other up. And if you don't win, based on what I experienced, don't comment on the fact that you didn't win, or don't tear someone down because they did win and you just don't feel like they deserved it. I don't think anyone who watches my videos would ever do that, but if you don't win, like, it's not a failure. It just happened that way. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't, I truly believe in divine intervention, and if you don't win, like, it doesn't mean that 2021 is gonna suck or that you are the worst or anything. It could be because there's something else happening for you that this didn't have to be a part of it. So I think that everything's a lesson, and I think that we have the power to make something amazing or to let it be a downfall. And I think if you just have the outlook of like, this is the first 66 steps I'm taking to being the best version of myself, then you're going to really enjoy this experience. Sorry I'm rambling, and especially on that last part, but I just really wanted to talk about my experience and hopefully help you guys along your journey. Because 66 days is a long time to be committed to something. I know that, 66 days in retrospect, it's not really a long time, but when you're in it, it can feel like a long time, especially if it's something like that you're challenging yourself physically. But yeah, I just wanted to help you guys in any way that I could. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any comments or questions about GYMSHARK66, my experience with it, always remember you can leave it down below. I love you all so, so much. Always remember to let love in, let love out, and stay thriving. Bye, guys.